I feel like last week when we fucking were doing it, we did the whole thing, and I had this moment of like, did I hit the record button? Like I panicked, didn't say anything, just.
Was it last week when you reminded everybody? You're like, hit record, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because we talk shit for like 10 minutes before we start, and then it's like, oh yeah, we have to record this.
We have to hit the record button. Yeah.
Anyway, this is all in the episode because we are pretty much experts.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm Robert John Patterson. I'm an artist currently living in Romania. For how long, I do not know. This is my brother Mike.
Hello.
And my other brother Skylar.
Hey, everybody.
And this week, we wanted to talk about music. Because between the three of us, I feel like we all became friends at the same time, and it was all about the same.
You and your brother became friends at the same
Before
time?
that, we
Took a
weren't
while.
friends. Yeah, it took me like 13 years to warm up.
Yeah.
But like, I
years to
really
realize I wasn't going away.
I see the like. You hear in like science world like causation and correlation aren't related, whatever the fuck that means.
Sure.
But I see the like. When I discovered music is when I became alive.
Totally.
I have loose memories before like 12 years old, but it was like 12 when my identity shaped. And that, totally. Fucking North Star lines up to when I started listening to music and being into music. Like, you hear songs when you're a kid, but you're like, whatever, mom listens to, I listen to. But it's not until like I like this, I'm gonna save up my allowance money and buy a CD.
Yeah, when you decided that you were going to put effort into this or your limited resources into that. Yeah.
But not only that, but it also like shapes like the relationships that you make with people, because it's like
for sure.
It's not like you seek people out based on the movies that they like or the foods that they like. Like, a lot of the friends I made, it's like, because they're into the same band that I'm into, like, sick.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
Maybe
there was only
whatever, but like,
because it's harder. I think.
Like, there was only a dozen of us really, like, through high school that like kind of subscribed to the same genre of music. There's granted, like, everybody knew one NoFX song and one Rancid song, but like no one was into it. No one was spending their whole evening on Napster to get 5 songs, right? Like, there was only a few of us really that gave a shit.
And it was kind of like a Illuminati handshake in a way. I remember being in like grade 11 and
I still remember the handshake.
Yeah, I remember being in like grade 11 and our like art teacher, we did like a silk screen like class, like a month. Like, we're gonna learn how to make silk screens and make T-shirts. And like obviously me and my friends made punk shirts. Like, I had a NoFX, my buddy Rory made like a Real Big Fish shirt, like someone had a Rancid shirt. It was like the usuals made the cool shirts. But then there's like this one girl at the front of the class that made a Millencolin shirt. And it was just like that, like, oh wait, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know you were cool. Even though I was uncool, like, like, definitely we're not cool in high school. But it was like, you're that other level of like, you walk into a CD store and you walk past the top 40.
40, yeah. Shit,
like, Millencolin,
people that are tapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that are tapped into something else, right? Like, that are not.
It's the effort level.
Like, I mean, and like in that time in our lives, like high school, fresh faced, bushy tailed, trying to figure it out, like, it was kind of nice to not really fall in line with everyone else. Like, it felt right. Like, it was obvious right away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that the music definitely helped. Like, it wasn't just, like you said, skateboarding, biking, or being generally just being a piece of shit kid. It was, the music definitely contributed to, like you said, shaping my identity.
And maybe that's because the music is just on repeat constantly. Like, you hear that, like, cliche, it's the soundtrack of my life, bro. But it is. It's when you're, like, growing as a teenager and having, like, thoughts about this or that, it's like, what's on in the background? Like, for me, it was Out Come the Wolves. It's like, Rancid was just on. from age 13 to 35.
Yeah.
Like, it's just on. Okay. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
When you hear songs, you just think of, like, different... I don't know.
Well, it's a slightly
longer than some friendships.
Oh, all of them.
You know,
for sure.
Like that's...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, like, it contributed to, like, a slightly skewed way of, like, interpreting the world, too. You know, how people acted, what they valued, just everything. You know, it helped. I've said it 5 times now already. Just kind of shaped my identity.
Yeah.
And you guys too. And like, I mean, even, you know, people who are into genres of music and bands that, like, I don't understand or don't give a fuck about. It's like they were shaped by that too.
Yeah.
You know, if they let it.
Yeah. I always felt like as long as there was, like, some type of scratching past the surface, like I was down with that person, even if we weren't on the same, you know, sonic level. Like, if someone liked rap, but they were past, like, Nelly, like I'm thinking of 2001, you know, like I could fuck with them. Like, if they're into Dead Prez or something like that, it's like, okay. Like, you're not just putting on the radio and liking. You're just not agreeing to the first sound you hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that set people apart.
Yeah.
It still does.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of, like, let's do a top 5 of the albums that, like, changed our lives, and is it the albums that changed our lives, or is this an episode of the Desert Island, like, 5 albums you'd take with you forever? Like, because those are two different things.
It's kind of both.
It's kind of both.
Kind of both. Kind of A, kind of B. Yeah.
One of my albums is, like, recent, so it can't be, like, shaped my life.
Ooh.
But maybe it has. Maybe it's, like, my last, 5 years have been different.
Or maybe it hasn't.
It has, for sure. I take inspiration from this album quite a bit.
Okay.
So what's the difference to you, Mike? Album that shaped your life versus 5 albums you can only listen to the rest of your life. Would they be different?
Yeah, I think they would be slightly different because I would want some. The 5 that I picked today are kind of like if you know me, you're not going to be surprised, right? If you know my musical interests, you're not going to be surprised. But if I had to pick 5 to listen to forever, because they're not necessarily the ones that shape my life, they're just records I enjoy to this day still, or I've recently found one of them's not terribly old, right?
Right.
That I'm thinking of. Yeah, it'd be different. There'd be more variation in music. I'd have, maybe more... I'd want to cover my bases. I want something loud and aggressive. I want something soft and sensual. I'd want something, I want to cover a wide spectrum if I only had 5. But when it comes to the 5 that I picked today that, kind of shaped me or helped shape me, I mean, I think 2 of them, at least, would be on that Desert Island mix of records. But
right. It is different.
Yeah, so it's slightly different.
Yeah, I think I took more of the approach of, like, these are the ones that shaped me, I guess. And I think at the same time, it's not surprising that those would also be some of the albums that I take with me on my desert island.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of overlap, but that's going to be good.
I don't think we will.
No?
From my point of view, there might be one.
Really?
1 or 2, possibly, yeah.
Well, we did a top 5 movies episode a few weeks ago, and we had no overlap, and that was really funny. And we had one person comment on Facebook, shout out to John, that was a little confused because we did our top 4, and then we did our honorable mention, and then number 1, and he wanted a little clarification on, did those honorable mentions mean they were like 1A, 1B, 1C? Yeah. And we had a little powwow before this one started. And honorable mentions will come after 2, before 1, but that's only for dramatic effect, to build a little anticipation.
Build it up.
Honorable mentions are pretty much like, we fucking love these albums, but not quite top 5. But you can't talk about your top 5 without thinking of them.
Mentioning. Yeah.
They need a
like
mention.
where if this was last year or next year, that some of those honorable mentions might actually fit in to the top 5, depending on where you're at.
It is a revolving door with a lot of albums. Depends how I feel.
For sure.
Depends where I am in life.
I'm fluid in my musical preferences.
Is that the word? Fluid?
Yeah, that's the buzzword.
Yeah. Also with your sexuality.
Yeah, everything's fluid. Race fluid, gender fluid, everything's fluid.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Except for showers. I'm
there's
still
probably
pretty once a week on those.
There's probably 20 artists that I would have liked to include in my top 5, but it just doesn't work, right? Like the 5 that I picked today were, like Rue was saying, like, they were 5 that helped shape me, or continue to help shape me, as a human, and my just my outlook on life and the way I interpret things. Like they get me fucking amped up, like they're monumental.
For sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so should we get this started?
Yeah, kick it off.
Here we go.
Mike's starting.
Mike, you starting it off?
I don't know. You seem real passionate right there.
Me? Yeah. Okay, well, I'll start it. Number 5 is this record called Street Art Gallery by the band Bombshell Rocks.
Ooh.
And came out in 1999. Super underrated record. They only have, they have probably... they have half a dozen records, but the first 2 are the only ones worth listening to. Like, they changed band members and changed format and changed their sound, like, really quick and often. So the first 2 were, like, the original lineup, or, like, some close representation of the original lineup. But the very first record that came out, their first full length, Street Art Gallery, came out in 99. They had a single off that record was on Punkorama 5, like one of the best songs, 180 Down.
Yep.
On Punkorama 5. And that record just fucking holds up, man. Like, if there's one record on this list that you haven't heard, possibly, that you, I should check out some of these, check out that record. Street Art Gallery, Bombshell Rocks. They're a Swedish band. They're fucking kick-ass. Like, their second record's good, too. I think it was, like, Street Rats and Alley Cats or something like that.
I think I had that album. I didn't have the first one.
And that's good.
It's good.
That's good. Like, that one's, like those 2 records go side by side. Like, they sound like the same band. Everything after that's kind of like, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
The first 2 records, but definitely Street Art Gallery, like, it's a fucking banger. Like, 12, 13 songs, whatever it is. It's a quick record. It's like a half-hour record.
Perfect.
And it's just front to back, man. Every song, it's like anthems.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta check it out. Bombshell Rocks, Street Art Gallery, number 5.
Wow. I guess I'll follow it up with my number 5. Coming in number 5 from 2000, the Baja Man. Who Let the Dogs Out?
Fuck off.
I can still remember being in grade 9 when that album came out. Changed my life. And I never got the answer of who let the dogs out.
The dogs out. Wow.
No, sorry.
Okay, please go back.
This was an influential album for myself, and it was the 1994 release from the Offspring Smash.
Oh.
Ooh, Smash, yeah.
Was definitely one of the first albums that I remember seeking out and having and it setting the path, carving the stone, so to speak. Where it was just that fast. It was different. Up until that, it was, like I Got Friends in High Places by Garth Brooks and Shania Twain. So this was. I remember walking to Canadian Tire, RJ, with you because we had heard a hot rumor that Offspring Smash was there, and so we went to the local Canadian Tire and picked it up for like $28, and then went home and like I say, it was a bad habit.
Bad habit.
Stupid,
it was
dumb
pretty
shit,
much like
goddamn motherfucker.
You gotta be honest. Like the draw for that album was there was swearing.
Yeah, that's.
But then it was like
Garth.
the rest of the album just like changed your brain. It's like, okay, switch to song number 3 because that has the swearing. Yeah. And then once that song's over, it's like, what's the Keep 'Em Separated song right after it? Like, fucking banger. Play, I think? Yeah, Come Out and Play and everything. Mm-hmm. Killboard Powerhead is a fucking good
like
song.
The first album that I realized that like you could listen to other songs that weren't just the single released.
That wasn't written on the front.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like
front to back.
You didn't get that from Shania.
No.
Tim
or
McGraw.
Garth.
No.
God bless you, Garth Brooks. But
God bless him, yeah.
God bless him, but Baton Rouge is a one-track album.
No.
Yeah, like, I mean, even with this list, like, I picked records that are front to back kick ass. Like, there's not a shitty song on it. Because, like, there's plenty of bands that I would have liked to have included this week on these lists, but on our Desert Island picks or whatever. But, like, you know, there's, like, a song or two where you're just like, whatever. You know? When it comes to the... not to throw anybody under the bus or jump ahead, but it's like, I didn't put any Bouncing Souls on here because it's like, I don't want to listen to the Toilet song.
Right.
I don't want to fucking listen to that song, you know?
Yeah.
That record's kick ass, but I don't want to hear that song. So I'm like, you know, that's not going on my top 5.
Wow, so are you throwing my pick of Smash under the bus?
No, Smash, I'm saying, it subscribes to the opposite of that, where like everyone's a banger, especially
That's
in
what
the
I'm
day.
saying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's a scorching record.
It still holds up.
Oh, yeah.
It still holds up.
I saw
it holds up,
Offspring do the Smash live concert maybe like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was fucking powerful. Like, Smash start to finish. And then as soon as it was over, I was with my roommate at the time. And she's like, oh, is that the last song? I'm like, well, yeah, that's the last song for Smash, but they'll do some, like, hits after that, so we can leave. And she's like, wait, what? I'm like, well, like, the rest of their albums suck. Like, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And then the first song they played after that was, like, right off of X-Nay on the Hombre. What's the song on that that's a good one? The Kids Are Alright or something?
Oh, okay.
There's a song on X-Nay on the Hombre. That's a good song.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it was
that was the only Offspring that really appealed to me.
Yeah, it was like that follow-up album, and they had one song on that one, like The Kids Are Alright, I think it's called. And they like did the guitar solo. I was like, oh wait, we'll listen to this one. And it was like, this is a banger. Yeah. And then right after that, they got into like Americana.
Pretty Fly for a White.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we can leave now. Yeah. We're past 1995. We're done.
Yeah. Back then, though, they were...
Oh, but 1994 and their first
that
album...
also, I think, holds the record for being like the most like bought independent record of all time.
Right.
It was like 1 billion.
Yeah. And it will never be passed now because no one buys albums anymore. No. That's so weird about music records. It's like they'll never... Like, sports records get broken every year, but like you will never outsell Michael Jackson.
Yeah, like fair enough. Or the Beatles.
Or even NSYNC. Like, that race has been won. It's done.
Yeah.
Like, you think NSYNC won?
I think they were pretty damn popular right at the end of CDs, no?
Nah, maybe. I don't know.
Like, Britney Spears, like, they were the last go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your number 5?
That was my number 5.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
No, my number 5 is my most recent album on the list, and that is I had to look at the date because I didn't remember when it came out. 2016's Tiger Army 5.
Oh.
And I doubt either of you have listened to Tiger Army 5, but it is front to back banger. And why I was so excited and why I listened to it so much as a front to back banger is because like every band that we're going to probably mention on this list has a peak and a valley and then maybe another peak. Yeah. But for me, Tiger Army has gotten better with every single album. And I can't say that about any band that I like. Statement.
Yeah, there's very few.
The first time I saw them was in like 2002. They opened for Rancid. And I already had their first CD at this point. Like, I got their first CD in, like, 1999, 2000. Yeah. And it was like, oh, this first album's cool. And then I saw them on the tour of the second album, and like, damn, this CD's even better.
Yeah.
And I've just been lucky enough that every like 3 or 4 years they put out a new album and I get to go see them on tour. And their 5th album, 2016, is so good. And it has this like Southwest, like kind of sounds like if you were a punk band and you went and wrote an album in Albuquerque, New Mexico, like that's what it would sound like.
Okay.
It has this really like bizarre, like neon cactus-y 24-hour like motel sound.
I'll have to think about that the next time I'm listening to it. It is a solid record,
It's a solid
and like
album.
between 4 and 5, that Nick 13 fella did his country.
He did a country album,
record
yeah,
too, which is really
it's
good.
really good. That guy is just fucking does it.
That might have influenced the sound.
It really is, yeah. It's got a real country twang, but then it's back to like Tiger Army,
psychobilly.
Yeah, but there's less of that like monstery shit in it. Like that was really like peaked in the 2nd and 3rd album, and then every album from them sounds different, and I like everyone better than the last. So
that's cool.
That's the most recent one for me.
Record.
It's only been out like 2 or so years, but I was lucky enough to see them, I think, twice in 2016. They played Toronto, and I went and saw them in Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah.
So number 5's the latest one.
Number 5's the latest. Then we go back to my roots. But making this top 5 list, it was like, that album's like, if I look at my Spotify top plays, like it's fucking there. It's always on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, one sec here. This is edit section.
Where did he go? Edit section. Fucking edit section.
This is bringing the music like do.
We're not editing this out. Like, fuck that. That's too much work.
No. Way too much work.
Fuck's sake.
What does he take this for?
I think
he's the one editing it, I guess.
Well, he hasn't been doing that lately. He's been fucking leaving that for me.
Well, he can do this one. He can fucking edit this shit out.
We're not editing shit. We're leaving this in.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just wanted to do a quick reset there because I was getting poor network shit going on. But
rough.
So, yeah, you done with you done with 5? You done with it? I could barely hear you though. That was the thing. Now you guys are all good.
Your picture's a lot more blurry than Skylar's on my end.
Yeah,
I think you having some.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Skylar's is crisp.
I think you're just drunk.
As a Tiger Army 5, and you look like Tiger Army 1.
I got that good fucking well.
You're in dial-up 1999 settings.
All right, Mike. What do you got? Number 4.
Number 4, baby.
Number 4 is New York City. One of New York City's finest.
Wow.
The Slackers.
Whoa.
Wasted Days, 2001. It is the first time I had heard the Slackers. I believe it was at Quirt's old place. And the title song, Wasted Days, was on. And I remember showing up there and just being like, who the fuck is this? Like, hadn't heard anything like it. Like, kind of has that traditional ska, reggae sound. But like with a little bit of an edge, and it's a bunch of white dudes doing it, and they're doing it well. Bunch of Jews from New York, and they're still putting out records to this day. Like the last one, they did like a whole crowdfunding thing, and then whoever put in to get the record made, like they're still like really small and independent for being a band of like 20 plus years. You know, they're still doing it like kind of grassroots DIY style. And so they crowdfunded their last record, and like everyone got a copy of the vinyl, which is super limited because it was only for the crowdfunding, which is cool. But Wasted Days, it was right around the time Hellcat started jumping off. I think that was the first, maybe the first record that Slackers put out on Hellcat. And the cool thing about that record is, and I've only heard the vinyl once, it's super hard to come by, it's different than the CD. And it was the first time I had ever heard of that happening.
Right.
Wow.
So it kind of made it desirable to have copies of both, which you can't really find the LP. And if you do, it's like hundreds of dollars now.
Like it's mixed different, or there's different songs on it?
Different tracks and alternative takes of some of the same songs.
That's kind of cool.
So like,
that's kind of cool.
It's like the principal songs, let's say 5 of the 12 songs are the same, but they might be alternative takes. But then there's different songs on the CD, and I'm so used to listening to the CD that the flow of that record or the flow of that CD is like it's almost second to none. Like front to back, that that CD just, it gets you on your feet. Like if you want to clean your house efficiently, put on that record, you know. Or it's also really, yeah, it's also really good for fucking too. It's kind of one of those records that if you want to get down to it, put that on, get in the mood. It's lively. It's
in my
sexy.
home, it's one and the same.
Yeah, that's all music is used for.
No, we just clean and fuck at the same time.
Cleaning and fucking.
You get that side, I'll get this side. You know?
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, and that.
It sounds aggressive, but Indestructible was my go-to. It's like
really, eh?
Yeah, because it was just like the perfect 33 minutes in length. It's like you get to the end of the album, you're good. Wrap it up.
If you can make it that long,
if you can get to the other side, it's time to go home. Finish her up.
Yeah, good job, kid. Good job.
All right.
That record. That record definitely. Yeah.
Whoa! Jump in the line.
My number. I'm not jumping the line. It's like, what are you talking about? Just keep this going. My number 4, I guess, got not good cleaning music at all. This is actually like my album. This album got me through some rough times. Whenever I went dark with whether it was like a broken heart or a dead relative. It was 2006 release from Tim Barry, the Ravina Junction.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Was an album that I remember. I've never had this experience before, but I would put that album on and fall asleep to it, and every time the album was done, I would get back up and turn it back on and fall back to sleep. And it was just like, I don't know, something that resonated with me, and it changed my perspective on life. This one came later, obviously, like punk rock roots, but this one was a game changer for me of just how to live your life and how to do things.
What to value, right? And yeah.
There's definitely some wise words on that album.
Yeah, like, I don't know, just struck me to the core. And it's still an album to this day when I get bummed out if I just throw it on. It's like you take those, as he would say, like you take those bad moments and you can flip them and find the good in the bad and make it something to be happy about, you know? And,
Yeah, that is a solid record. I remember when I first got to listen to that, it was like nothing I had ever heard before.
Yeah.
You know? It was so soulful and so deep, and it like... There's a few songs that have energy where, you know, you get your foot tapping a little bit, but for the most part it's one of those sit and listen kind of records. And you know, that's how you're going to enjoy that to its fullest.
Yeah.
And then everything before and everything after that Tim's done has been, you know, he's also kind of one of those guys where you talk about Tiger Army where it might not continue to get better and better, it might not be better than the last, but it's consistent. Like his music is consistently like similar.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
And see, like,
you know what to expect.
Tim is in on that whole, like, what I think is cool. Like, I'm a big, like, songwriter guy. Like, I like cool songs. I like story songs. I like lyrics that are, like, you can sing along to, but also give you, like, that punch. And I feel like that's for, like, a lot of punk rock bands. They kind of get shit on where it's just like, oh, it's, like, you know,
loud,
stupid
fast
lyrics, just, like, hard and fast, this and that. But it's like, no, like, Tim was, like, between him and, like, Chuck Ragan and, Dave Haas, I guess, right? Yeah, Ben Nichols, where it was like, no, you can, like, take this punk rock attitude and still flip it and make it soft and angelic. And I remember going, actually, and seeing Tim live one time, and he played this, like, you know, sappy song like he does, and I, like, look around, and we were all packed into this show, and this guy was standing behind me with like one of those like taxi cab hats on and like a striped shirt and big muscle dude. It was just like, man, it's all punk rock. Like, it's all punk rock, man. It was like, yeah, I had this big moment. And then like Tim played one of his faster songs and the place kind of went nuts. Like there was like crowd surfing and stuff, and I looked back after that song and that same guy standing there, no shirt, hat still on, dripping in sweat, just it's all punk rock, man. It's all punk rock.
Yeah, dude.
Just like, oh my god, like, where am I?
The first time you get a Tim Barry album, like, you listen to it, and it's like you're being taught a lesson. Like, you have to listen to every word.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the second time you play it through, you like sing along, like you're agreeing with them. Like it's this weird process of like, let me take in this knowledge, digest it, agree, and now I'll put it back on, and I'll repeat along and, you know, cement these ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
Such a fucking good writer.
Good writer, and he puts on a hell of a show too.
For
being
the show turned
one
me.
Man, one guitar.
That's all you need.
I had heard the albums
really
for years, and it wasn't until I saw him live that I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, he's not just playing a song for you. It's like he's telling you a story, and he just happens to be playing guitar.
Yeah.
And like I've seen Tim open for like full on rock shows.
Yeah.
You know, like he's open for Against Me and Bouncing Souls. I've seen him open for, right? That it's just like
wicked.
There'll be a band on that's like a full on rock band, punk rock band, and then Tim will come out with his acoustic guitar, play some songs, teach you a lesson, and then go back to the punk rock stuff. Yeah. And he was in Avail, right? Like Avail was like a sweet punk band.
Avail's great
back in the day.
2 singers, weird format.
Yeah.
2 full-time singers. But
What's next, RJ? What's your 4?
My number 4, I'd be surprised if this isn't on your top 5s. It's the one-track album from 1998, The Decline.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like when that song comes on, it's just whatever I'm doing, I'm breaking it. Like it's on. Like there's no stopping. It's just all of a sudden you just like flick a gear. It wasn't the
Game
first
changer.
And it
No
goes
Effects
through.
album.
It goes through so many. It goes
It
through so
takes
much
you
life
through
in that
everything.
18 minutes.
Ups and downs. Yeah, it's an 18-minute song, and you go ups and
I
downs.
don't believe in like auras and chakras and shit because that's all like just voodoo in my opinion, black magic,
hippie shit.
But when those symbols come in and that like doo-doo hits,
back of the
that
neck.
Second doo-doo just fucking throws me for a loop.
I know.
Instant goose flesh.
Goose flesh.
And we were lucky enough to see that live too, 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
They played that live, and
the first night I ever saw No Effects live, I'll never forget it, Mike. Like you were in front of me, and we were like packed right up to the fence.
You gave me whiplash, dude.
Who does? Yeah, you had it. You needed it.
You gave me fucking full-blown whiplash.
But they came out and were just like, we got a good show for you tonight. And like, I'm already like fully torqued.
Oh, we're already torqued,
You know, like, this is the first time I'm seeing like my favorite band ever. And then just those cymbals hit. And I remember like shaking Mike. And you turned around and you were just like, are they fucking playing it? And it's like, they're fucking playing it. And then all hell broke loose for the next like 18 minutes. And
oh, dude!
I remember
at that point we should have just went home. Like I was exhausted.
Yeah, I remember he said like to the crowd, like, I hope you all got a drink because you're not going anywhere for a while. And I was standing like there was like a huge Georgetown turnout to this show, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So many of our buds there, and I was standing between like 2 other guys. Like shout out to Fat Mike and Andrew Wilkes. And we just like looked like I look in both ways. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Because not only were we lucky enough to see The Decline live, but like I could honestly say that's probably like the 5th time in history they played it live. Like they didn't do it back then.
Second, that was the second time.
They played it in San Francisco or something.
They played it in Montreal and they played it in Toronto. Yeah, that was the second time.
And this was like maybe 6 years after the album had come out. But they just, because it's an 18-minute song, they never fucking played it.
No.
But we were there and we lost it.
Not much of an album, more of an EP.
It's
or
an
a
album.
DP because it just fucked all my ears.
Do you know what's on the B side of that record? Because it's also a banger.
Isn't it Murder? The Government. Dinosaurs Will Die, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it was How Did the Cat Get So Fat? I thought it was that song.
I don't know. I don't have the album. I don't have the
I can't remember, but I can't remember. But it's a 2-song record. You don't even need the B side.
No.
But whatever it is, it's like also like just a fucking killer song.
Yeah, the CD was like smaller, little clear one. That's all I remember. I had the CD.
Yeah. Or DD. Yeah. Whatever Dee Dee Wants. I don't know.
No, that came after. That was Pump Up the Volume,
wasn't it?
The Decline was also a song though that I remember going to like. There was a little punk scene in Georgetown where we all grew up, and we all kind of really were into the same bands, different bands, whatever. But like, we would go to house parties, and when the Decline came on, it was you dropped everything, went to the basement, and had a fucking circle pit, and just destroyed everything. Like that happened in too many house parties. Like you didn't.
It had more pull than.
Yeah, we used to throw parties at our house, and you would fucking like just be like, "Please, no one put the Decline on. Like, don't."
And when someone would put it on, you'd be like, "Fuck off!" Like, but then within 5-7 seconds, you're like, "I can't resist it, though."
Yeah, like smash your glass, go right.
Dining room chair will be broken, and we'll glue it back together tomorrow. Like, sorry.
I remember RJ. I remember you went through a phase. You went through a phase for a little bit where you really didn't like NoFX.
I hated the war on errorism. Yeah, that was the main catalyst.
And that was like 2003,
4.
3.
Yeah, it wasn't even so much war on errorism. It was just that like Rock Against Bush thing. Like, because all NoFX stood for was, like, fuck everything. And then it just kind of seemed like Fat Mike was, like, all of a sudden political and capitalizing on it with these, like, political albums. So that kind of just rubbed me the wrong way, like, philosophy-wise. Because they had a bunch of, like, fuck the government songs already. But now all of a sudden it's like, no, but for real this time. And it's like, well, what's different between this and the Punk and Drublick songs?
Yeah, go rock the vote.
Yeah. Like, fuck all that shit.
You should have rocked the vote.
Don't tell me who to vote for.
Yeah. Yeah, the Decline, though, holds up, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting that one on there.
I gotta clean my apartment later and putting it on. I've already decided.
Whenever I have to do something and I don't want to do it, and I think, like, how can I do it faster? It's like Decline.
Yeah.
I'll get it done in 18 minutes.
And probably it's their best song. Like, if you even were to cut that up, if you were to cut that song up into 2 and 3 minute songs, those are going to be all of their best songs. Like, the lyrics are fucking banging, the music's banging, like that is easily. Not just because it's 18 minutes, but...
Full disclosure, I'm pretty sure the first time I heard it was on Napster, and it was like a four-part download. Like back then, like it came in like 4-minute chunks or whatever, like, and you had to like piece them together after. Yeah. In the old days when like 56 kilobytes was like gonna break your downloads for the whole day.
Yeah, just leave the internet on for a whole weekend.
Yeah, I gotta get the Decline. It's in 4 parts. Okay, Mike, on to you. Top 3.
Who's next? Top 3.
Number 3. Are we number 3? Okay, number 3 is this band from Liverpool, England, not the Beatles, the other band from Liverpool, England, the Animals.
Oh, wow.
The Animals. Wow. The Animals, yeah, well, I mean, don't judge. You haven't
I fucking
heard
love the Animals.
Okay, no, it's just way off.
The Animals.
You judged mine earlier.
Yeah, I did. I constantly am judging.
That's fine. That's what we do here as
the Animals
experts.
The Animals, self-titled, 1964, American release. That fucking record, front to back, is probably the top 5 best rock and roll records. I don't care who you are. If you're saying it's not, then you haven't fucking heard it.
Right.
Like, that's how it goes. Like, it starts off with, like, their most recognizable song, which you can skip right past because we've all heard it a million times, The House of the Rising Sun. But the next 11 songs on that fucking record are just killers.
Please don't let me be misunderstood. One of the best guitar riffs of all time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's not on that record, but it's in that era, in the 60s.
It's not on that album?
Right? No, it's not. This is actually like, I don't know, it can go either way. It depends how much you care. I don't fucking care, but like, it's pretty much everyone else's music that they've taken. Like, there's Chuck Berry songs on there, there's Ray Charles songs on there, and they've turned them into... Well, Chuck Berry was kind of rock and roll. He was rock and roll, but they turned him into a full band, like, huge huge like sound rock and roll songs where it's just like you put that record on and you can't help but want to move.
Yeah.
And dance and sing.
Did they sing My Girl?
No. That's like Otis Redding.
No.
My bad.
They might do a cover of that. I don't know.
Different animal.
Different animal.
Yeah. Totally different animal.
Totally different.
But yeah, that was that record also good for fucking.
Mm-hmm.
That record. It is
seeing a trend here.
Yeah, it is a
this
boppy.
Is just Mike's fuck jams is what we'll call this.
Yeah, fuck jams 2018, baby. But another good part about this record is that you can walk into pretty much any record shop and get it for under $5.
That's a good sell.
Fuck. That's
yeah.
a good sell.
Yeah, it's just the Animals. It's them in their fucking. It's like a Sears Jostens glamour shot of them just sitting there with wearing all the same shirts, and it just says the Animals, and it's just killer, man. Front to back killer.
Fucking Jostens.
Front to back.
School photo shoot.
Fucking school photo shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one to check out if you haven't heard it. Just because everything that they put out in the 60s is top notch. That just happens to be the best compilation style record of all my favorite songs that they do.
Sweet.
All right, Skylar, top 3.
Number 3 is for me the 2002 release from Against Me, reinventing Axl Rose.
Oh yeah, dude, I almost put that as number 1. I didn't put it on there though.
It was
number one.
It
didn't make the top 5.
No, it's an honorable mention. It's an honorable mention. Yeah.
No, that one was also one of those bands where we're seeing them live for the first time.
They opened for No Effects that time we were just talking about.
Yeah, they did.
You're right. They opened for No Effects before they played The Decline.
Same day.
Had a couple pops.
Original lineup.
Original lineup.
Original bass player. Yeah.
When they started playing, I can't remember what song it was. Either way, but there was a song that played where I just felt like I couldn't stop moving. Like I just was like, I'm dancing. Here we go, right?
Yeah.
Like it's happening. But
it could be any single song of theirs from that era. Pints of Guinness,
something about
anything.
Something to be said about how like the first album that bands put out are the best because like they have their whole life so far leading up to it to write said album. Right? Like it's so like I feel like, they were writing that album for 20 years, put it out, it's fucking a banger.
Yeah.
And like they're one of those bands that's like peaks and valleys, like whatever. I can't say I'm always into them, but I don't miss their live shows ever because they fucking put on a fucking banging live show.
Yeah, they really do show up. Every time.
I remember seeing them play once and they just played for like a half hour straight without fucking talking to anybody or doing anything.
I feel like a lot of their early shows when we would see them was that. It was just you're like privileged enough to see them jam. That's what it felt like.
Totally.
Half the time.
And like Tom Gable didn't even face the crowd.
He didn't face the crowd. Yeah.
He faced the drummer.
Yeah.
Like they were looking like kind of at each other across the stage and the drummer was back there. Like he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they definitely changed since then.
Yeah.
I still dig it hard. But I feel like their band...
Their latest album was good. I really like their latest album.
I didn't hear the latest one.
I haven't heard it.
No. I don't even know what it's called.
I was going to say, I feel like they suffer from too many releases. Like, it's almost every other year.
They're just pumping them out,
They just pump them out. And for one, it's like, that doesn't always mean the best work. And it also means, like, you just, like, miss shit. It's just like... Bands usually put out 2 or 3 year gaps, but Against Me is like every year, whether it's a greatest hit or a live album or something, or a new EP re-release, like it's too hard to keep up with.
But Walking Is Still Honest and Pints of Guinness Make You Stronger are two of the fucking best songs I've ever heard in my life.
Even Don't Lose Touch.
Walking Is Still Honest.
They play them every show. So it's like if I have to spend $40 and go see them play a bunch of fucking songs and they play those too, I'm fucking stoked.
But you still know every single song, even if I'm not as familiar with the last album. Like I've heard it. Like it's come across.
We're not talking about those fucking new albums. We're talking about this one.
Yeah, okay. Well,
yeah. This Reinventing Axl Rose was their first like full length, and then they went. I'm pretty sure the next one was on Fat Wreck.
Yeah,
Eternal Cowboy. Yeah. But it was like they had records before that no one that was outside of that scene really ever heard, and then they came out with we saw them play with NoFX.
Yeah.
And it was like halfway through the set they played that Sink Floor to Sink song, and it was like, oh, it's that band. It was the only song I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
Which is like, not even the greatest song. It's a good song, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't hold up to the rest of the set,
Catalog.
And then remember me and Rue went to CD Plus like the next day or the day after.
Yeah.
I went and bought Crime, which is like pretty much the EP for Reinventing Axl Rose. Pretty close. It's the EP right before Reinventing Axl Rose, and you got Eternal Cowboy or something, and it was just like
I got the Searching and then for Former Clarity.
Former Clarity.
I remember actually we went out to the fucking like at the Cool House they used to have that fucking bus that would come full of CDs.
Yeah.
Get your Bad Religion merch. Yeah.
Did we? We got it from there. I thought it was CD Plus.
That's where I bought it.
Yeah. It could have been.
I remember buying Former Clarity from there because then the next day putting it in playing Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis because I fucking had that game for some reason.
Just a wee one.
I remember.
But yeah, Reinventing Axl Rose is it holds up, man. You put that on now, and it gives me the same fucking feeling and that angst and the goosebumps that I got the first time I heard it.
Again, I'm a big fan of lyrics. I love fucking intelligent lyrics, and I think Laura kills that. Yeah. And it's definitely on that album. It also is the simplicity of it all, where I'm pretty sure it's only a 5-piece drum set. Most songs are only here's 3 chords, you hold them together with your shitty voice. And
good harmonies though.
Yeah, and that's where I don't give a fuck about guitar solos and drum solos and shit like that. I just fucking super simple music, and if you can hold it together with a good story or good lyrics, Against Me does that for me. So
yeah, they did it for a lot of years for sure, man.
Yeah. Still doing it.
Yeah, Dysphoria is a fucking good album. That's one of my favorite Against Me albums.
Yeah, I never got into that, but it.
I just felt like it was so.
It was new wave and on. I just.
Yeah. New wave was I liked it, but it was because it was so likable that makes you not like it. It's okay.
There was 5 really good songs on the record, and the rest of them were then, so after that, I never really gave them.
What was after that? White Crosses was still good, but
White Crosses sucked.
I felt like Dysphoria was just this is a fucking punk album, and I haven't heard a punk album in 15 years. This is someone that's fucking pissed off and wrote a bunch of songs about it.
Yeah, well,
I loved it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was definitely Black Me Out.
Yeah.
It's a fucking sick track,
Such a good song.
Honourable mention.
Actually, the first time I ever heard that, you guys were jamming it in your basement there, Rue. I didn't even know who it was. I didn't know it was Against Me. It wasn't until years later that I realized that it was Laura Jane or Tom Gable song or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know. I walked in, you guys were all jamming that, you and Mitch and Rory and whoever else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good jam song.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what's your 3?
My number 5 was Tiger Army 5, so I thought it was really fitting to make my number 3 Punkorama 3.
Ooh.
The Gateway Drug.
The best compilation ever compilated.
That's the life changer.
I was wondering when that was going to come
up, man.
I don't even want to bring it up. I'm not gonna...
it was.
Yeah, 1998. Yeah. I didn't know a single band on that. But I left with here's 23 of my new favorite bands.
Yeah. Descendants, NoFX, Rancid,
Pennywise, everyone.
Yeah, Bad Religion,
H2O.
Yeah.
It was just
Death
banger
Stereo,
after banger.
Agnostic Front.
Bombshell
Rock.
Bombshell's not on number 3. They're on 5.
Were they not? No. Okay.
They're on
5.
I think they're also on another one too. They might
number
be on
5
4.
Is fucking
6
sick
maybe.
Too. Those are 2 albums.
6,
3, 5, 4 are all fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, up to 5 for sure. Those, I mean, it's still pretty good, 6 and 7, but yeah, 3 was
7 was the last one.
7 was the end,
like, and that was kind of like, okay, I'm done at 7.
Yeah.
But 3 through 7.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But like Punkorama 8 had like US Bombs, the Transplants.
Yeah.
You know, it had some good bands on it, but it was like Tiger Army, Distillers.
Yeah, it had some good ones, but it was, I don't know. For those out of the loop, totally. Back in the old days before internet, record labels would put out compilation records, kind of like a best of, and the idea was like the record or the CD was like $7, and it had like 25 different bands on it, and it was like a little sample of everything that the label had to offer. And for people like us that are like 10 or 11.
Poor as fuck,
yeah. It was like, this is the CDs. Like, I just had tons of compilations back then because that's all I could afford.
It was like the Avengers comic of CDs.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of everything.
CDs,
a little taste of it all.
And everybody did it.
Everyone did it, yeah.
Yeah, every company did it like Hopelessly
like an all-star
Devoted
game,
to You.
basically, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I had a bunch of Nitro Records compilations, too. They were all really good.
Nitro did it.
Yeah.
And like there was some crossover,
Fat
like
Punkorama,
Fat Wreck,
Fat Wreck had all the physical fatness ones.
Yeah,
but like Punkorama was like it was Epitaph, but they also got like Bombshell Rocks for number 5. Like that is like Burning Heart Records or something from Sweden, and like Anti Records out of somewhere in the States.
Yeah,
you know, like they took bands from other labels and put them on the Punkorama too. Like they were affiliated loosely, right?
I think they did the like North American distribution. Same, because they had a lot of international bands on there. Millencolin.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Hellcat shit too, right? Yeah. Like stuff from Hellcat they took, even though that's American mostly. But yeah. Millencolin, which is Swedish as well, right?
Yeah. And the Hives, I think, were on 6 or 7.
The Hives. Yeah, so like Bombshell Rocks, the Hives, Millencolin, they're all Swedish bands.
Oh, the Hives might have been on 5.
Wow.
I think the Hives were on 5.
5 or 6. Yeah.
I just remember like listening to number 3 and like hearing it like and be like, this is fucking sick. And then like it was like one of our friends had it, and then it was gone forever until like Napster came around, and then it was just like me and RJ like, do you remember that like sweet compilation album that we listened to? Like, what were those bands? And that's where like, you know, it was like NoFX, Rancid, I think, like Pennywise, I think was a band, you know, like
that's the first time I heard Pennywise for sure.
And then you get on that fucking Napster shit and it's all downhill.
Yeah. But it was still the sweet.
Was Tom Waits on 3 or was that 4? Because he has that Big in Japan song.
That's on 3.
That's
on 3.
That's on 3. Yeah. And it was like as soon as, and it's totally different than anything else on that record.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And it was like that. I didn't really let it sink in at the time, but I kept coming back to it throughout the years, and eventually looked into Tom Waits and his catalog and was like, this guy's fucking as punk as it gets.
Yeah.
You know, like.
People like to shit on Napster for, you know, ruining the music industry. But there was that sweet spot in like 1999, 2000 when Napster existed, but the internet sucked so bad that you could download like 2 or 3 songs. But if you wanted to download a whole album, like that would take like 2 or 3 days. Like it was brutal. Yeah. So it was like, I'm going to download Time Bomb. I'm going to get Roots Radicals. Check. I'm going to go to the store and buy Out Come the Wolves.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So it did help
contribute. It really helped for me. Like you just get a little taste of something. You're like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to go up to CD Plus in the mall. Shout out CD Plus. And buy the CD. Because, if we... You know, you couldn't use the internet and use the phone at the same time. Like, it's all pain in the ass. Like, mom's not going to let you hog up the internet for 7 or 8 hours in a row to download.
Oh, God, no. You get 2 songs.
Yeah, you get 2 songs and it's over. So, it was a pretty sweet time for, like, you could test a whole bunch of different, you know, pieces of cake. Then head up to the store and buy the one you want.
Yeah. I can remember in the late 90s there's that skate shop Discers in town, and they had a whole punk rock section, and I was always kind of intimidated to go in there and look through the music, because at that point I didn't really have, you know, an identity musically, But I remember I was in there one time and I saw the Gob record.
Right.
Like some Gob record. And I was like, oh, fuck, that looks cool. And then it was like hearing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like hearing their couple radio hits, whatever those, the fucking B-side, whatever it's called. But, yeah, hearing the radio hits and then being like, fuck, I should go in there. And I can remember going in there and there was this fucking... I know the guy now, and he's not that bad of a guy. He's friends with actually a buddy here who grew up in Streetsville. He's friends with this guy. But I remember coming out of there, and I was going to buy it, but I was like, I don't know. And I came out there, and he fucking pulled the old Tommy Boy line about eating paint chips on me. And he's like, said something. He's like, what, do you eat paint chips?
Like you're just thinking too hard in front of him?
Yeah, or something. Yeah. Like if whether I was gonna buy it or not, and I was so fucking embarrassed. Never went back and got it.
Yeah, I feel like I hung out there quite a bit, but I was also like skateboarding at the time, and there's like skateboard shit in there.
Yeah. I was fingerboarding at the time.
But like,
and that the whole
right.
You know,
I was buying like.
So I was doing nothing. Yeah.
I remember buying like Metallica CDs and like Rob Zombie CDs back then.
That was a rad place.
Yeah, it was a cool spot. For like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, the older I got, the less intimidating it was, but there was definitely a time where it was like, you know, all the cool kids are hanging out in here listening to fast music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so Mike, what's your number two?
Number two, the classic 1995 release from one of my favorite bands, NoFX. I Heard They Suck Live.
Okay.
Ooh, wow.
Wild card.
Which, and like, I'll explain, because that was the first live punk record I'd ever heard.
Okay.
I never heard a live, I may be off Napster, but I'd never heard, like, you know, a string, like, this was like just at the cusp. Like, I probably found this in the year 2000, right? 2001. You know, it was a couple years old at that point. And I had never, like, it was just when we started going to shows. So, like, didn't really know what it was about. So putting that record on and getting, like, the full, like, the crowd banter and, like, stop spitting on me and all that crap, you know? It was, like, it just made sense. Like, as soon as I listened to that record for the first time, it was kind of like what Rue was saying about Tim Berry. It was like, I'd get up and go and restart that CD. And I'd listen to it 5 times in a row and then go about my day. Because it's just, like, the energy that it gave me. Like, I can't wait till the next band comes around. I want to go see that band. I want to go see this band. The flow, the energy, the attitude, like, it was all there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it was right before Heavy Petting Zoo.
Yeah.
Too. Like, between Punk and Drum, like, and Heavy Petting Zoo, and it's like, you know, it's the best era of NoFX. Yeah, shit's about to get weird, yeah. And, like, for years, that was my favorite record of all time. For years and years.
I remember years later when Blink-182 had the, like, Take Off the Pants and Jacket live album. And that was, like, the hot fucking album of, like, grade 10 for me. And I fucking hated Blink-182. I thought they were so lame. But, like, everyone in my, like, age group was like, you got that album? It's so funny. And they'd, like, put it on and they'd laugh. And I remember thinking, like, this album came out 8 years ago. It's called I Heard They Suck Live. Like, like, what the fuck? Like,
it's way better.
It's way, like... The NoFX album is so much edgier. Like, they swear on Blink-182, but they're, like, joking the whole time. Like, it's silly. Versus the NoFX one, it's like, stop spitting on me. Like, I'm not that punk. Like, fuck you. Like, it's like, they swear.
It's kind of dangerous.
And they have all the, like silly sex jokes and sex songs. Like, all that's in there.
Yeah.
You know, they do Boggly Eyes. And all that stuff's in there. But then it's like, but they're a punk band. They're not like a boy band with fucking gel in their hair.
No.
Yeah. That was kind of like, I realized that I really like, not that I was super on the fence, but like what cemented my interest in punk rock was hearing Beer Bong.
Yeah.
And it was like, because that's a bad song.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bad song. But when that comes on and I heard They Suck Live, it's just like,
yeah.
You know, like it was just, it just got you fired right up.
Also the like drinking and driving song about not wanting to spill your drink, like it's fucking awesome.
It's good, killer, front to back, like best NoFX record, even though it's a comp, right?
Their other live album is really good too.
It's good,
where they like just take a bunch of their slower songs that you would never hear live and flip them and make them fast and
It's like a sequel album, isn't it? Isn't it I Still Suck Live? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Can't Believe They Still Suck Live.
Yeah.
Suck Live, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. And the Ribbed Live, they got Ribbed Live now.
Yeah.
Which is it's pretty good too, because those songs are killer. In that era, they did 10 records in 10 years, 10 full length records.
Good albums.
Never mind their fucking EPs.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the 90s, the late 80s to the late 90s.
You just gotta punch it out, you know. I guess I think since we're here, I'll fire in my number 2 as well.
Yep.
And it is the 1997 release from my favorite band of all time, also NoFX. So long and thanks for all the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That one's your favorite, right? Wow.
That is my all-time favorite NoFX album, and
that's my favorite studio album for sure.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, it not so much even like it was like a game changer. It's just like when I put that album on, it gets me jacked, and it's my NoFX album. They wrote it for me.
Yeah.
None of you.
Yeah.
You know,
it was supposed to be their last album too. Wasn't that the Urban Legend?
I don't think so. I think it was just a lot of people threw shoes at them.
Okay.
So it was like, you know, so long.
I heard that I heard that they wanted to name it So Long Thanks for All the Jews, but you know that's not gonna come off well when you're just browsing a rack. Yeah.
Or like 2 heaves and a bean. White trash, 2 heaves and a bean was supposed to be white trash, 2 spicks and a kike.
And something like that.
Yeah, it was like, no, we can't do that. Yeah.
Well, NoFX has never shied away from controversy.
No. Banned from America, last I checked.
Yep. Not that bad.
So
I'm banned. I'm banned from Europe. I relate.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. You did far worse, actually.
Yeah, I'm banned from like 20 countries.
But that So Long Thanks for All the Shoes, that's still to this day my favorite.
What's your standout track on that one?
Wow. Rue?
On So Long Thanks for All the Shoes? Or
Yeah. What's your like go-to? What's the song?
Oh, definitely like Desperation's Gone. I'm Telling Tim and Kids of the K-Hole are fucking... Desperation's Gone is like...
Yeah, that's number 1 for sure.
Next, maybe we'll do later like top 5 NoFX songs.
Like
that one's up there.
But based on our top 5 albums, like we got to do a NoFX episode or something.
Also, fun fact, Champs-Élysées is a French song on that album that the Montreal Canadiens use in their in-game. Like, you'll hear it on TV and shit.
Like during the warm-up or just random?
No, like during the game.
Yeah,
like
during the game,
Yeah, they play Champs-Élysées because Jonathan Theodore, who was a goalie for the Montreal Canadiens, actually played second guitar on The Decline when they played The Decline in Montreal. One time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was a big NoFX fan, so he just has to go out and do the rhythm section, I guess, while El Jefe plays his horn.
Yeah, God forbid Melvin has to do anything.
Yeah, God forbid. But so after that they started playing Champs-Élysées at Montreal Canadiens games. But fuck the Habs.
Fuck that. But doesn't that give them a little bit of credit?
A little bit credit.
A little bit. I think All Out of Angst is my favorite on that album.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a fucking good song. And
I don't know. Yeah.
There's too many.
I don't know.
That album is just like I say, like there's like 4 or 5 songs right in the middle that are just so quick and just like boom, 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 boom,
like Monosyllabic Girl and
oh yeah,
that's
1 minute songs.
A bunch of 1 minute.
Is
songs.
it?
Yeah. Monosyllabic Girl. I love the simplicity of that song.
Yeah, but it's so well written and how shitty it's written.
Said shark.
Yeah,
took her to the planetarium.
But like, how could you write that song? Like, it's so stupid that like you have to be a genius.
Stupid.
I took her to the jewelry store. I said diamond. She said pearl.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's Monosyllabic Girl.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's between Kids of the K-Hole and Desperation's Gone has got to be. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
It's up there.
It's gotta be. One. Yeah.
Talent Tim is a great song.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a better version of that on an EP. But either
What's your number 2, RJ? Is it also No Effects?
No. There's a couple honorable mention No Effects, and I already said the Decline at fucking full.
That's true.
I already did mine. I did my due diligence. Number 2 is
No Effects.
We all have a No Effects. My number 2, Lars and the Bastards, first album.
Ooh. Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
I remember.
I can dig it.
I remember being in art class, and there's this cool girl in front of me that was listening to it, and I was listening to Rancid, and she's like, "Oh, if you like Rancid, you'd like this album." I'm like, "What is it?" And she's like, "Oh, it's Lars from that band." And I was like, "He's in 2 bands?" This is 2001, I think it came out.
Now he's in 20 bands.
Now he's in 20 bands. But Lars is in 2 bands? So we traded discs for the week to go home and copy it. And
nice.
I think I like this better than Rancid. Every song is just amazing. Yeah. And a lot of the songs, I didn't have it nearly as a hard upbringing as Lars, but just an album full of songs about growing up in a small town and just hanging out with your friends and scumbag friends and doing whatever you want to do with your scumbag friends. It's this is small town punk anthems down.
To this day, the best Lars and the Bastard songs is 6'5".
Yep.
About Big J. Oh man, that. To this day, that is the best Lars and the Bastard song. Never be topped.
Put down your guitar and get a good job.
Rock and roll doesn't pay. No, it don't.
Here we go.
Yeah. I think everyone knows that friend in their life.
I like Skunks. Skunks was a fucking solid track.
Campbell CA.
Oh yeah.
Dead American. Yeah. To Have and To Have Not, I think is the
10 Plagues of Egypt. That might be a cover, but that's a fucking sick song too.
Yeah, there's a few covers.
There's a Motorhead.
Leaving Here is a cover from Motorhead.
Leaving Here.
And To Have and To Have Not, the Billy Bragg
song. Plagues of Egypt might be a legit Lars song.
Yeah.
And it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
But the rivers turned to blood and the fish died.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good story, right?
It's all good songs.
Kind of teaches you something. And here's some super nerd points. Right on the back. Lars and the Bastards.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a loser.
Every day, baby.
There it is.
Yeah, that record holds up. And their second record is fucking awesome too. It's a little more polished, but every song is good.
It's the next up a level of this is a rock and roll album and it's faster and harder, but it's still the same vibe. It's still
honorable mention was one of mine was the Viking. Because it has the best fucking opening to any album, where it's just the motorcycle revving up, and then the next 4 songs are just boom 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 in your face, and they kick the fuck out of you. They're so good.
They do.
Yeah.
Every single one of those songs is just it's one song. It's very Decline-esque, where it's just 4 songs melt into one another, and it's wow, that's how you start an album.
Even something Streetwise Professors, a 35-second song, it's barely a song,
good.
But the way it's sandwiched between 2 other songs, just,
or Gods of War,
it's one of the best. Gods of War, Blind Ambition. Yeah, and it's it's kind of like the way the Decline changes that whole record, where it's 1 minute, and then all of a sudden the tempo changes, the structure changes, but they fit so well together. And every once in a while, I'll be listening to my iPod with everything on it, just on mix, and one of those 30-second Lars songs will come on, and it's you just want that next one to come on right away.
Yeah.
It's and it does, and it goes into whatever other band.
But I also on that same album the song Marie Marie, it has a 1.5 second blackness before the song starts, and then it's Marie Marie, and it's just this Chuck Berry song the same way you just have your iPod on shuffle, and it seems whenever that song comes on, it's the perfect timing. It's one song ends, there's a 1.5 second of blackness, and then Marie Marie, just gonna get up and start bopping.
If there wasn't proof that records are supposed to be listened to front to back, fucks this skipping and shuffling thing.
Yeah.
That's a good record to prove it.
Yeah.
You know? Especially if you're into punk rock.
One thing I can't stand, I've been to a couple weddings this year, And there's the thing at weddings where it's like they'll play like a minute of a song and then just like bleed it out and play another song.
Yeah.
Where it's like, motherfucker, you know that there's a bridge and there's a drop there that's sick. You know?
Yeah.
But you don't hear, and like they do it on the radio sometimes too, and it's like I don't get that. Like, if you're gonna listen to the song, fucking listen to the song, right? Like,
yeah, that does irk me too. That's a pet peeve. Like you're in someone's car and they're skipping every 30 seconds. I hear the
Adrian Albert.
hear the the first chorus.
You just grab the wheel and fucking yank it.
Just threw him right under the fucking Volkswagen, eh?
Fucking Volkswagen, under the Volkswagen, Adrian. Fucking put on a movie and you just fast forward it constantly. Put on an album, fast forward. But
alright, so have we done all our twos? Are we honorable mention?
I think we're going honorable mention now, and we kind of already talked about it, so I'll be brief. But my honorable mention, the most notable was going to be the whole Punkorama series.
Okay,
like
1 to 10.
It just turned me up. Well, 1 to 8, we'll say, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 to 8. It just, like we talked about, like it turned me on to a lot of bands, like, you know, Pennywise. Like I knew a little bit of NoFX, knew a little bit of Rancid, but like hearing those songs, like, you know, like I probably the first time I ever heard Radio was on a Punkorama.
And NoFX. NoFX won every single one of those albums. They always had the best song.
Oh yeah.
One of my
first time I
favorite
heard
things
Guttermouth,
about NoFX,
you know?
on the Punkorama albums was always they would put out unreleased songs.
Yeah.
So it was like an incentive to get it, right? That it's just like, this isn't going to be on an album. It's going to be Mattersville. It's going to be Pump Up the Volume. It's going to be Bath of the Last Resistance. You know, like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I always enjoyed that. And that was what I also always enjoyed about those compilations was they weren't the only ones that did that. So it was worth picking up. It wasn't just the greatest hits. It was like a, hey, we just got this. And before you all cut me off, I always thought that the compilation albums had the best songs because those were the songs that were supposed to draw you into that band.
Totally.
Yeah.
So they were
a commercial
always
for the band.
Yeah, they were always bangers.
Yeah.
Totally. The first time I heard Bouncing Souls, first time I heard Agnostic Front, all on fucking Punkoramas, you know?
Sure.
And like I still listen to those bands, if not daily, on a weekly basis. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it did a lot. It shaped my exploration in those like early 2000s.
For sure.
Musical, not sexual. Maybe a little
bit
bit
of
sexual
both.
too. Bit of both. But yeah, like I got honorable mentions for days, but we're already coming up over an hour here. Like I could talk for the rest of the day about honorable mentions, so I'll let you guys go. But Punkorama, the whole series, 1 to 8. Anyway.
Should we just get to number 1?
I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah, do your mentions.
I only have one. I'm keeping it light. Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Volume 1.
Okay. Yeah.
That album's on all the time in my house.
That's me and the roommates, like, we love that shit.
Yeah.
It's our perfect song we call, like, if we have a song, is End of the Line.
Oh,
That's our jam.
End of the Line.
And honorable mention, like, what's that fucking Roy Orbison one where he just melts your heart?
Oh, Not Alone Anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's his vocals at, like, 12. Like, he just turns it up and kills it.
Yeah. Like, oh.
If he wasn't so fucking ugly, he would have been bigger than Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
He's a poor man's Elvis.
Well, that's why he wore the
poor man's
glasses,
Elvis,
trying to hide behind them.
But fuck me, the tears.
Voice of an angel.
Yeah. But, yeah, the first Traveling Wilburys album. The third one's also fucking sick, but the first one has got End of the Line, Handle with Care.
Got your refrigerator.
Yeah, it's got them all.
I guess my honorable mention, I'll throw it out there.
Another
and I
one?
feel like we're going to get into this in a minute anyways, but is Operation Ivy's Energy.
Ooh,
from 1989.
Yeah.
Started it all.
Is definitely an album that I got into late in life, as in like fucking like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And it's one that I always... Not that, like, not to say a year, but I mean, like, I've always heard
You didn't? We used to listen to that all the time.
No, but I mean, like, I used to always hear, like, Off Ivy songs and they were sick, but I mean, like, in the last, like, year or so, I've really, like, just, it's a go-to album.
Yeah.
You know, kicks
also, another nerdy shout out here.
It is.
Operation Ivy.
Yeah.
You know, gotta wear that
Operation
shit loud
Ivy was actually the first punk band I ever heard, and I didn't know what it was because I was too little. Like when I started skateboarding in like 1995, I hung out with these older kids, and they all had Operation Ivy T-shirts on, and we would listen to it while we skateboarded. But I was too little; I didn't fucking know any better. But like it stuck with me until years later when I got into Rancid, and people like wised me up, like, "Oh, their first band was called Operation Ivy," and it's like, I know that band. Like I didn't know it was like cool to like that band because like I remember we used to skate to those songs all the time.
Yeah.
But
that was
too
also
little.
That was gonna round out my list today too.
So
number one.
Your number one
Energy, but no, it's not. I picked something else. But
like
that was creeping up on the list.
So that's another one that could have been in the top. Your number one, but didn't even end up making the top 5.
No, same with Reinventing Axl
Two
Rose.
albums.
I don't know what it is. It's like I think it's because those records have so much play.
Yeah.
Like they have so much play that like I can't ever go back to the first time I heard it, and even though there's nostalgia and sentiment to it, and I do enjoy all the songs, you know, it's not that I could, if I never listened to it again, I wouldn't be upset, but you know, it doesn't hold up the same way as my number one, which is in light of Operation Ivy. It is Rancid's 1994, Let's Go.
Let's Go.
Wow.
Let's Go is my favorite Rancid record of all time. Epitaph, Brett Gurewitz. It's 23 songs. There's not a song over 3 minutes. Nothing touches 3 minutes on that whole record.
No.
It's 23 fucking songs.
Yeah.
And first record with Lars.
Yep.
It's all around banger.
If Lars Frederiksen the Viking has the greatest opening ever, as in like best top 5 songs to start an album.
Yeah, Let's Go is number 2.
Let's Go is definitely number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rattlesnake.
Yeah. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a New Year's noisemaker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a noisemaker.
Yeah. Kind of like Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake sounds way cooler than noisemaker.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like...
But that record had so many, like... There's so many little things about that record that make it stand out. And, like, the music is number 1. But it's like the first vinyl that I ever bought that was a 10-inch record.
Yeah.
It comes in 2 10-inch records. Which was
doubler.
It was just cool to have that, and it was smaller than all the, 12-inch records that I had. Like, just something about it, and like the EP that came out, Radio, that EP that came out on Fat Wreck, which is like the only Rancid record on Fat Wreck is the Radio EP. It had the B-side was this song called Just a Feeling.
Yeah.
That didn't make the full Let's Go record, but it is probably of that era of Rancid is the best Rancid song of the mid '90s. Is Just a Feeling. It didn't even make that record.
Same with
so like that'll show you.
I Want to Riot. I
that
feel like is one of Rancid's best songs, and it got cut from Out Come the Wolves. Wild.
There you go.
Like that just shows you how fucking powerful that album.
Beavis and Butthead soundtrack.
Yeah, but it's like wherever it ended up, it ended up. But it's just like that's how good the album is that you have to cut 5-star songs.
The best song.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
Just
want
a
to jump
Feeling
on
is
it and
5-star.
and say like whatever, but I guess my number 1 is Out Come the Wolves by Rancid.
There it is.
Yeah,
back
of course,
back.
of course. I knew it.
Back to back.
So
yeah.
I feel like I mean like let's just put it all on, like put dicks on the table.
They're
and
on.
It's like if we're talking about the one because they're almost fucking like sister albums. I feel like it was 1995 April when Out Come the Wolves came out, and Let's Go was probably a year tops before
94.
that.
Yeah, 94. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're both like I don't know, essential. Every song on Out Come the Wolves is a fucking banger. Like
front to back, man.
I don't want to throw Let's Go under the bus. Couple like it's a little long, couple songs, whatever, but
well, it's only 40 minutes.
I think,
but it's 23 songs.
That's true. But that's what I mean. It's just like
what
boom,
makes
boom, 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 boom,
Let's Go fucking sick is that it's 22 songs and they're all fast as shit. But I think, like, I see what Skylar's saying, where, like, Out Come the Wolves learn to, like, let's, like, take the tempo down and up. Like, we're not going to just go 0 to 60 for half an hour.
Let's Go
we'll slow it down
in the be like a decline where every song is just, like, interluded into the next one. And that's fucking awesome. But Out Come the Wolves was more like, no, these are all just individual songs, and every single one of them, it doesn't slow down and it doesn't ever waver, in my opinion.
And a cool little segue from Let's Go to Out Come the Wolves is that Motorcycle Ride song, which is the original Time Bomb lyric.
Yeah, same words.
Right? And then they
and
just...
Or laziness.
Or laziness, but it was like they had all these songs that they were playing live. They went and they cut that Let's Go in 6 days. They recorded it in 6 days and put it out to the world. And then it was like, for Out Come the Wolves, well, we're going to make a better record.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to have, it's not about the sound or anything, but it was like, we're going to make our songs better. So then instead of being 23 songs, it was 14 or whatever, right? And it was like 14 of like their best fucking songs ever.
Yeah.
Especially at the time. Like, nothing touches it in 1995.
No.
Nothing.
God, no.
Maxwell Murder is probably hands down my favorite punk rock song, Rancid song ever.
Yeah, more than Roots Radicals. Like, I feel like that's a song when someone asks me, like, what's your favorite band? I go, Rancid. I go, Roots Radicals. Like, get the phone out. Like, you're a fan.
For sure, I get it. Like,
starting now, you're a fan.
I think that's the go-to. Like, if you're trying to sell people on the band, like the
Roots
single.
Radicals,
But for me, I like Maxwell Murder, Olympia WA. I also fucking like War's End. As Wicked. Those songs are fucking banger. Like, I get it. Tim, like Time Bomb, Ruby Soho, Journey to the End of East Bay, all fucking bangers as well. Same with like Radio and Nihilism and Salvation, right? Like,
I was at this hostel the other night. There was like this like fucking international meetup at this hostel, and I'm like wearing shorts, and some chick just across the room is like, "Is that a fucking Rancid tattoo?" And I like looked at her. I'm like, "Yeah, Out Come the Wolves." And then she hit me with the like Step Brothers line. She's like, "Did we just become best friends?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like this fucking girl from Australia, and we just sat and talked about the War's End for the next half hour.
That's such a like when Lars does his War's End, just him and the electric guitar. It's like
I
know, chilly.
You can tell that Out Come the Wolves.
And it's like it's nice because it's like it provides a break in the pit, and it provides a break for all the rest of the band to go and get drinks or whatever, take a quick piss. But it's like it is probably the best part of their live show, and it's like everyone's just catching their breath.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
and it's like one of the best moments of their live show is when he plays that.
I was gonna say, like Skylar, you're saying that it was like front to back, every song's perfect. And every song, for me, like, I've just listened to that album from front to back so many times that when you hear a song out of context, you in your head just start singing the next song. Like, you can't not.
You do.
Just do the next song.
Like, you hear it.
You just hear the next song, and you just get into it. And you're disappointed. Like, oh, man. Like, this is on some video game or some shit. Like, it's not the entire album. Like, I want to hear Lock, Stop, and Gone. Well, obviously, it's Rancid. But I'm going Rancid 5. I like Rancid 5.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say
I'm always about Rancid 5.
Yeah.
That's a dirty album.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so aggressive.
Like, it's so dirty.
Yeah.
Like, it's another one of those where I think they perfected the Let's Go model of, like, let's just have a bunch of songs that are like a minute and 30 seconds.
But there's some slowdowns in there.
People.
It's got a Radio Havana in there.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah,
right?
there's...
Like,
and like some of the best writing that they've ever done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Black Derby Jacket. Like,
oh my god.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But it opens up with It's Quite Alright, and it's like, it's not the same as the Lars, it's not the same as Let's Go with, like, you know, that's the dirt bike or the rattlesnake. No. But that bass line that goes right into the fucking It's Quite Alright, it's like, oh my god, man.
Yeah. I fucking love that album. And I was going to say, I think the reason I love it so much, because that was my first anticipated Rancid release. Like, it came out in 2000, and before that I had Out Come the Wolves and Life Won't Wait, and I'm pretty sure Skylar had Let's Go. So we were already Rancid fans, and it was like, there's a new Rancid album coming out. and it was like waiting for the new Rancid album.
I remember graduating grade 8, and RJ, the next day, going with my graduation money, you came to, and just like, I bought No Effects Pump Up the Volume, and you bought Rancid 5.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was just like...
And then we went to the cottage.
Like...
I remember that car trip, and we like both listened to our CDs, and then traded back.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 3-hour drive.
Like made mom listen to it on the car rides there and back.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, you had a cool mom.
Yeah.
You had a cool mom.
She tolerated
it. Tim Armstrong, like,
she didn't like Rancid 5. I remember that.
Underrated fucking songwriters of our time.
Yeah.
I think he's fucking amazing.
Well, it's because he's borderline autistic. People have a hard time getting past that, you know, like.
And like Matt Freeman is the best fucking bass player
ever
in the world.
Ever. Yeah, that's ever existed.
Fuck Geddy Lee.
Where do you guys stand on Brandon? Have you warmed up to Brandon? He's been in the band like 15 years now.
Yeah.
I dig it, man. Brendan has an energy that Brett never had, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, he's got an energy, like, and in his stage presence,
he's got more stage presence.
Not that like he's better, but it like adds to the whole appeal of the band and seeing him live. Like,
as like
I remember
old fan, I'm like, Brett's the best. But when you think about their songs. The Brett album, like, he's not the best drummer ever. He's a drummer in Rancid, but you like him because he's Brett.
As shitty as that sounds.
Yeah, he was
tight.
He was, I'm pretty sure, like, Tim taught him to play drums on the first album. Like, he's not a drummer.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, I thought I heard something like
Brendan
that.
Brendan is a fucking good drummer. And he did add a lot of life to those old songs. Like, when you hear a new version of, St. Mary or some shit.
Smashes, man.
Yeah.
He really fucking smashes. He fits in with Rancid as good as anybody would, you know?
I remember watching, like, the Bouncing Souls 20 Years, do you remember?
Yeah.
And there was a point when they added, like, their new drummer, and they even said where it was just like, we've been playing these songs for, like, 10, 15 years, and then we introduce a new drummer with, like, a new sound or a new idea, and it's like, it changes our songs from before. It's not just the punk, like, like, non-stop. It's like, no, you can fill this in and make it different and still give it that same, like, non-stop, like, what you want, right? But it's like a new take on an old song that you've been playing for 20 years. So.
Well, since we all had Rancid as number one, I just got to say it so it's out there. The latest Rancid record, Troublemaker, is the best thing since Rancid 5. It's better than Indestructible.
Yeah, better than Indestructible.
Better than Indestructible.
Is pretty.
Well, give it a couple years.
Okay.
You've had fucking 20 years for it. You've had 20 years to let Indestructible marinate. Give this one some time and listen to it. It fucking holds up, dude. It holds up. It's best since Indestructible.
Okay.
At the very least.
If we're throwing that out there, then here it comes. Like, if you want to get laid, you need to listen to Hall & Oates Volume 1.
Yeah, okay.
What does that have to do with anything?
Maneater.
Yeah.
Girls go crazy for it.
Jesus.
Whatever. Way to bring it down.
Well, I'm pretty stoked on our top fives. I love that we all had No Effects in around 2 and 3, but Rancid number 1.
I felt like we hadn't talked obviously before what our things were, but then as we were closing in at the end, it was like,
it's obviously
it's all Rancid.
Yeah. It's all Rancid. It's gonna be a sweep.
That's why we got talking and it was like, oh, yours is Let's Go. Well, we might as well throw Out Come the Wolves. Oh, and we might as well throw Rancid 5 in there. So it's all Rancid.
Because those are the 3 best ones. Like Life Won't Wait, killer record.
Yeah.
First Rancid, killer record.
Killer.
But those 3 are the 3.
I like
Indestructible's good. Yeah, I like it. It's definitely, of the Rancid records up to that point, it's my least favorite, but it's still a Rancid record.
I love that one, though, because, sidebar, this is going to be a long one, but like Skylar was saying, the band's first album is usually the fucking door kicker, because they had their whole life to write this first album. And then sometimes the band kind of gets lazy, and that's where I feel Rancid is now. It's like, what the fuck do they have to sing about?
Yeah,
but Indestructible is when he went through the divorce, and there's a bunch of fucking killer breakup songs on there I don't think would exist in the world unless they were writing the album when he got divorced.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And Joe Strummer had just died, who was a big influence.
And Lars's brother died. It was a big year.
A lot of death.
Yeah, it was.
So there's a lot of songs on there
that... gives me goosebumps a little bit. If you start dissecting
if you dissect
that record,
it,
like it is,
those songs would not be on any other album. There's no other fucking, like, love songs on Rancid albums. Like, that's not what they do.
My nipples so hard
you have to dig in and be like, oh, Ruby Soho is a breakup song. Like, you gotta look for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not Tropical London about some fucking wife cheating on you on a tour of Australia.
No. Yeah, and like even though that song is kind of out of, like, there's a few songs like that seem a little out of place in that record. They work for that record.
Yeah.
Tropical London's one. Ghost Band.
Yeah.
Well, Ghost Band's a little, like, it's got some energy, but it's still, you know, it's again about like kind of losing love.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah.
In hindsight, so. Yeah, fuck, man, Rancid, dude, and like, so like, Let the Dominoes Fall, and like whatever their fucking other one was, like,
I don't know what it's called.
Forget those. Just forget them.
I love New Orleans.
If you got time, go listen to fucking Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yeah, go back to the Baja.
Don't listen to that. Don't.
Billy Furtado,
like, we just talked for an hour and a half about awesome records. Do not encourage Hall & Oates, Who Let the Dogs Out. Do not.
I feel like Domino's Fall was the only, like, miss on Rancid.
Don't!
Our Lady Peace. I like...
Rain Maida can fucking sing. Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap this up. We're at 1.5 hours. This is a...
Yeah, we're done.
We've been actively trying to keep these under an hour, but here we are. Overtime.
Yep.
Yeah. We could have talked another 3 hours about fucking...
We're going to have a bunch of music episodes, I think, over the next 2 months. We just started cracking this door open. Because I could talk.
So I guess we'll do like a top 5 albums part 2, maybe.
From every band that we like. But I'm stoked that our top 5s didn't overlap too much. Like when we talked about this as an idea, I'm like, we just listened to the same bands. But it was a little bit more diverse than I was expecting. We all agreed with each other. Yeah. There was no fucking Beetlejuice on it.
No. We're doing it.
Except for the Baja Man. Ruse number 5 and 4.
Okay. Well, speaking of fucking sick punk bands, Frontline Fiesta, some serious honorable mention. You got some Let's Go vibes off that, you know, Toronto punk skate band. Support them on Bandcamp. They give us a sweet outro, which you will hear in about 20 seconds. Follow us on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, the rest. Last words, boys?
Dig into some of those records. Get into it.
Yeah, I'm going to check out some Bombshell Rock tomorrow. I'm going back to it.
Yeah. Street Art Gallery, get it.
Yeah, I might do it on my walk tonight. I'm going to go out tonight. And
see you in the pit.
See you in the pit. Yeah. See you in the pit.
Good last words.
You guys should all get see you in the pit tattoos so we're all match.
Yep.
Yeah.
You bet. On the top of the dick.
On the dick. See you in the pit.
Famous last words. Your dad doesn't get deep enough.
What?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Good night,
Are we cutting that out?
No, we're leaving that in.
Leave it.
All right. See you all next week.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. We are Pretty Much Experts. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. While you're at it, go have a look at our Facebook page. You can ask an expert any time of day or night, whatever you like. And if you're into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, baby. Thanks again, everybody. Tune in next week. We are Pretty Much Experts, and we love you, I guess.